What is your number one goal with a prospect? Okay, what's your number one goal with a prospect? Because remember, a prospect is somebody who's not in the business yet. They're still they're still in the funnel. They're still on your list of people, and they're not a customer yet. They're not an associate, and so you got to figure out what category to put these guys in. So, what is your number one goal with a prospect? And maybe some of you are thinking of the answer right now, but I'm going to tell you that it's not to sell or recruit them. Your number one goal with a prospect is not to sell or recruit them. It's not even to, have them create interest in what our business is all about. Not at first. Not at first. Guys, your number one goal is to be on the same page as your prospect. That's your number one goal. Just get on the same page. And I'm talking about creating rapport, getting them to know, like, and trust you. And listen, we meet people every single day. And so that is really, really important. But you're saying, well, listen, Steve, I've got all these friends of mine that already know, like, and trust me. It's like, yes, but you still have to get on the same page with them. You can't just call a friend of yours and go, listen, I need you to get over here. I want to show you something. It's like, no. You still have to develop that rapport, get on the same page with them, because until you do that, it is literally impossible to have them ever do business with you. So the question is, how do you do this? How do you do this? How do you be politically correct in getting on the same page with your prospect with the ultimate goal of getting them as a customer or as an associate? Okay? How do you quickly create a meaningful connection with your prospect and crank up the desire for them to do business with you? Well, there's two simple steps. Okay? It's pretty simple here, guys. Number one is you've got to identify exactly who your ideal prospect is. Now, you're like, Steve, listen, how do we know this? How do I know who is going to do this and who's not going to do this? Okay? Well, what you want to do is you want a clear picture of who they are, and you want to start gathering, insights about their life. And, stop me if you've heard this before, but this is the discovery phase. Okay? This is when you are going to shut up and ask questions. Okay, our good friend Jimmy Bowles taught us that a few months ago, is that we need to stop talking and we need to ask questions. You need to discover what's going on in somebody's life, okay? And once you know exactly what's happening in somebody's life, it makes it really easy to take the next step, because step number 2 is knowing exactly what to say to them, okay? Because if you just walk up to somebody and just start talking about the super patches, they're going to look at you like, what are you even talking about? They're not on the same page with you. But if you have this discovery period with them and you find out what's going on in their life, that's when you can start speaking their language. When you know what your prospect is thinking, you can speak their same language, and you can anticipate questions or objections that they're probably going to have, right? Now, you'll know what they need to hear, what they need to see to create enough certainty for them to obviously move forward in becoming a customer or an associate. And listen, guys, it all starts with the product. It all starts with, because somebody said to me the other day, it's like, well, I can't go out there and promote this unless I know it works. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, we did 60 million in revenue our first year, basically. We're going to do 150 million this year in 2024. We've had days where we've done 500,000 in sales in single days. We're registered with the FDA. We've got clinical studies, peer-reviewed clinical studies that are now published in medical journals. We're doing business in like 34 countries. It works. Yeah, it does work. But I still understand their objection. I still get that, because they have to be certain for themselves, and everybody wants to create their own story, and that's fine. But when they can feel the technology, then when they can experience some success with the technology, then it's easy to bring up the business side of it. Because maybe somebody said, they don't like their job. They haven't been on vacation for years. And you can say, well, listen, if I could show you a way to, maybe supplement your current income where, possibly you could quit your job someday to do this full time, would you be interested? If I could show you a way to, pay for your kids' college education, before they even get into high school, would you be interested? If I could show you a way to take more vacations, without really disrupting anything you're doing right now, would you be interested? That's all the business side of this. Hey, do you know of anybody else that might want to experience a good night's sleep, or the pain relief that you've already felt? And they're like, yeah, that's all the business side of it, you guys. But it starts with them experiencing the product, and you'll know what to say, to kind of set the stage for them to buy the patches or join in the business. So guys, that's it. That's it. It really comes down to your number one goal with your prospect is to get on the same page with them. And what you want to do is you want to speak their language. Just speak their language. And when you speak their language, boy, they will know, like, and trust you. And then you can offer, obviously you can offer a solution to this. So, that's what makes that's what will make the ultimate difference between successfully sponsoring a ton of people or even struggling to recruit one, which is why it's essential that you kind of wrap your head around this process and get inside your prospect's head. It's the edge, okay? This really is the edge that you need to win big in this business. You've got to get on the same page as the people that you're talking to. And with these two steps, I think you can, kind of eliminate the tire kickers, and you can really attract the cream of the crop in this business. But there's that old saying that you can't tell the studs from the duds, and you can't tell because you just don't know who they know. But guys, my whole goal is to talk to everybody, But I don't just walk up to people and start talking to them about the patches or talking to them about the opportunity. I start conversations with people. That's what I do. And I get to know them a little bit. And I find something that we have in common. And then I ask them more questions. Where are you from? What do you do? Do you have any kids? And it all leads to, well, Steve, what do you do? And the other day when I was on a plane, I was talking to this gentleman for 45 minutes. And he was telling me all these things, these really cool things that he did in his life. But he was also telling me the struggles that he has in his life. And when he finally said to me, well, Steve, what do you do? What are you coming to Dallas for? When he said to me, Steve, what do you do? I said, I looked him right in the eye and I said, well, what I get to do for a living is provide a solution for what you just told me. And he looked at me and he's like, what? I said, yeah, I can help you sleep better at night. I can help you with the pain that you have in your legs. He's like, what do you mean? Okay, I was speaking his language, okay? And by the time we got off the plane, he had already canceled his connecting flight to come to a meeting that we were doing in Dallas. And they joined as associates, and they're rocking and rolling today. But guys, until you understand what your number one goal is with your prospect, you're going to struggle. And the number one goal is to get on the same page as the person that you're talking to.